Live? Okay. Welcome to the Monday, December 29th, 2025 Board of Selectmen's meeting. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Public input.
Okay,
Jackie Rollins.
I just want to say to the selectmen that I'm very disappointed in the fact that the tax collector, the town clerk, and the road agent did not receive
And the selectmen.
I didn't know about that, any longevity or bonus or any type of a thank you for the work that's done. Part-time people got their bonuses and their longevities, whatever you call it now. I don't think it's so much the money part of it, I think it's the thank you part of it from the town. We do, as you know, a lot of work, run the town, and I just don't think it was right to eliminate some elected officials. And I understand, someone had told me, I didn't know about it until I got my check and it wasn't there. Jen was told the week before that she wasn't getting it. We have called other towns and their elected officials have been getting their bonus longevity. Don't, you know,
If I can interject.
Yeah.
This board of selectmen never voted on that issue. And I think the person who made that decision was operating above her pay grade. And at some point in time today in this meeting, I'm gonna bring up a motion to have that reinstated.
Someone had told me that it was in the personnel policy that no elected officials get stipend, or whatever you want to call it, at the end of the year. And I've always been told that the personnel policy does not affect elected officials. It's for new hires, or people that are hired by the town, not for elected officials. So to me that...
I mean, I know everybody that you mentioned, in addition to the selectmen who are eligible, have gotten it for the last
Ever.
9 years
Oh,
that I know of, because
Well,
I've been here for 9 years.
right.
So
I always, from the time I started working, I got a bonus at the end of the year, and then it was term longevity.
and the only point I'm gonna make here is that it's our decision to do that or not do that, no one else's. And that kind of stuck in my craw a little bit. I mean, if the subject needed to come up, it should have come up at one of these meetings. We should have talked about it, we should have voted on it, we didn't. I don't know. And my memory's bad, but it's not that bad.
No, it was, I never had that discussion with anybody.
No, and not even outside of this meeting area. I mean, like a one-on-one, haven't had that discussion. Didn't have it until Christmas Eve, I think it was. Damn close.
Well, I think that if it's in the policy and the person who made the decision based that decision on policy, how do we fault that? Do we need to change the policy?
Well, I think we have to go with Jackie on that, the employment policy is employment policy, not
Elected officials.
elected official policy.
Right,
Mhm.
so we have nothing. I've always been told you don't even get a copy of the personnel policy because it
Right.
has nothing to do with you. And actually it was Jack that had told me that, yeah, it says it in the personnel policy. And he said he didn't know why it was put in that when it didn't affect
Yeah.
elected officials.
Well, I'm happy to
If you
have,
want to have the discussion in 26, that's fine. We can have that
I'm
discussion.
happy to have the discussion, but
But to just sua sponte decide we're not gonna hey, Jackie or Jen or the road agent or whoever who've been getting this annual
Longevity.
and now you don't.
Precedent has clearly been set.
Yeah, and if we wanna break precedent, that's our job.
Right.
And I don't think, I'm not in favor of retroactively breaking precedent. In other words, not paying and then somebody complains, so now we'll vote. We should make decisions in a more proactive way.
Well, there should be reasons behind them as well. There should be reasons behind them.
Right. Right. I mean, as Jackie says, it's not about the money. Although it's all, as I said in the card,
No, it's
it's
principle.
always about the money.
Not always about the money,
But
but
it's-
I totally get the principle.
So I told you we had the same thing going on.
Yeah, you did. Mental telepathy. Oh, God.
Something, it's age.
Age, there you go. Right.
Anything else?
Did you have something
No,
else?
no, that was it.
All right.
That was just-
Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
All right, have fun. See you, Jane.
Approval of minutes. We have minutes from
December 10th?
Wednesday, December 10th, work session, and Selectmen's meeting on Monday, December 15th. Has everybody had a chance to review the minutes?
Yes.
Any additions, deletions?
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes of December 10th and the minutes of December 15th.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I know we had the police station meeting with
Chris,
Chris Garcia canceled. But
yeah,
He did send us an
he
email,
did.
and I did read it when I got it.
Is there anything outstanding beyond that?
No, it's
Or
a
any-
status update.
Any further
Really.
explanation beyond that?
No, it's just a status update.
I'm hoping the heat comes pretty soon. I mean, I talked to Bubba, and he can't do anything without heat, so. Or can do very little without heat.
I worked for years in construction outdoors without heat. But, whatever.
He was promised he should have.
He should have it, he was promised it, I get it. A couple of notes, the doors have been released, apparently they're on their way, Jack's had the final sign off and they've been sent.
And he signed a check for the Orlando.
With the design, let's see, a design meeting in early January. We're gonna be meeting with the interior decorator apparently. Painting is still open, we still have 4 bids to go over and choose a painter. And the well is complete. They have yet to send us a pump quote, but we're gonna get a pump quote. And I've been told that the well produces about 15 gallons a minute, which is exceptional. So it's a good
So
well.
that should change the need in the utility room, I think, doesn't it?
Well, gallons per minute really doesn't have an effect on the storage capacity, but
I remember Bubba mentioning that it would change the setup in that. Maybe it doesn't, I don't know. Because it's not like a house.
no,
It's not gonna be a lot of
they'll be
water.
lucky if they use a gallon, 2 gallons a minute and
Yeah.
high volume. Everybody flushing at once. And hopefully before the next meeting, he's gonna have a proposal for engineering design services associated with the dumpster retaining wall at the transfer station.
Yep.
And he's working on heat. Okay. Police chief. Come on up.
Good evening.
Hi there. Hey.
Oh,
Everything is normal. The one that's sticking to the one above it that I can't get out. There it is.
Seems, yeah, hot dog.
What a difference a year makes.
Yeah. Yep.
And I'm talking about
The
statistics.
numbers, yeah.
Crime.
Folder on the table. I think it's in that pile.
Is it?
Yeah,
Thanks.
it's like maybe 3 or 4 in. Haven't even on dry hands this time of year.
Perfect. All right, for the month of November, we had 2 call-outs. One was an alarm and one was a welfare check. Sergeant LaFave, Officer Badette, and Officer Emerson all went to some type of training. We had the annual firearms qualifications for the department. We took care of those. The classes that you see here for Officer Badette LaFave on ethics and implicit bias are 2 of 4 classes that are online that are mandated by the police standards and training for us to do every year. And so they worked on those. As you can see, as far as stats go, from January 1 to November 30, respectively, for last year and this year, community policing calls are up, directed patrols are up, citations are up, accidents are up, arrests are up.
Quite a bit.
Yes. Felonies are down. Our long-term investigations are almost at par, a little under, and our calls for service are up.
Excuse me.
I did the breakdown of the felonies for you. Nothing really has changed since last month, I believe. On the Friday before, 2 Fridays ago, I guess, Sergeant LaFave took 3 reports of frauds and scams in one day, one shift. They're rampant at this time of year. I want to just make sure that everybody knows that you got to be super careful about those. They're getting very sneaky in how they do things, and the reasons why they're continuously changing their reasoning behind why they want to reach out to have somebody's money in their bank. So if in doubt, again, please call us. We can kind of work through it. It may be a case where somebody has already called and reported to us that this is going around, and we can try to shed some light on it and work with them. On those particular cases we received the other day, people did not jump into making hasty decisions, so they were not out any money or any victimization. So that was good. They just wanted to call and talk us through it. We confirmed that, yep, doesn't sound right, and they ignored it and did what they need, put safeguards in place just in case. I wanted to open up dialogue with you folks about trying to see if we can update our detail rate for the police department. As it stands right now, we're at $75 an hour, 4-hour minimum, and that's broken into the officer taking home $45 an hour. We have a fee of $20 for a cruiser, and then we have an administrative fee of $10. I reached out to a lot of areas in Carroll County. I think every agency actually, and received the data that you have in front of you. You can see that a majority for a total detail rate are up compared to ours. A few like Freedom and Moultonborough will be increasing theirs from what I understand, but as of the date of the collection, that had not taken place yet. And I just wanted to make the point that in no way, shape, or form does the details come out of any taxpayer funding or anything like that. We have a revolving detail fund. The people that request the detail are billed, and at that point in time when they make payment, it goes back into that fund and take care of business that way. And I believe that if we work this right, and I think we kind of have already, It actually is a situation where by the time we get some workers' comp paid or retirement paid for those that are eligible, that kind of thing, the town actually makes a few dollars per hour. As
As well.
yes. So my recommendation, what I would like to see, is I think first of all, I think we can take the cruiser dollar figure out of the equation and just make it strictly officer and admin fee. And the reason why I say that is because $20 cruiser fee and that kind of thing.
Is this a per hour rate?
That is a per hour rate.
Okay.
Yep, on all of those. Yep.
Yeah.
The fee for the cruiser is nothing that the police department is getting back into their operating budget. If we have a detail with a cruiser, that $20 or part of that $20 does not go back into my fuel line item because we keep it totally separate, or quote unquote the wear and tear of the cruiser's idling and that type of thing. So I think we can do kind of like what Bartlett did, where we have the officer take home and then we have the admin fee kind of rolled into all of our.
So the officers are actually getting $60 an hour from Bartlett?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
so the problem I have with your scenario is 10 gets nothing.
No.
$10.
What I was proposing, and I just wanted to start out by saying I think we should take ourselves out of that line item, but I would like to finish by saying that money should be rolled into the admin fee, so that the town does have all of their bases covered. So in other words, my recommendation would be to do like the sheriff's office, $65 an hour to the officer. I would like to do $25 admin fee for a total of $90 an hour is my recommendation. And I think that we will be consistent with that kind of figure. And we have a 4-hour minimum for if details 2 hours. We've been billing it out as a 4-hour, and I think that if we're going to increase our rate as it stands now, I think it would just be a prudent thing to drop that to a 3-hour minimum, just to kind of help whoever may be reaching out to do details with us.
So what are you talking, what did you say for the officer?
I would like to do 65 for the officer,
Yep, nothing for.
0 for cruiser,
And 25
and 25 admin fee
for a total of 90.
for a total of 90.
So, again, I'm sorry, explain to me again why the cruiser is being taken out?
Well, there are times that I would say majority of the time we actually use a cruiser, but I
Is it
think
running?
it is running. Yeah, it is running, but the reality of it is that the amount of money that we have for a cruiser is not coming back into the police department budget. So I'm not sure that it is needed. Like a couple of the places don't even have a cruiser fee; they just roll it into the admin fee, and go that route. If it's something that we should keep in, then I'm okay with that, and we can make some changes. But
Well, let me run this by you.
Okay.
Chip mentioned that the town should be getting something.
absolutely.
You want to cover your costs for the officer, and you want to cover the costs for the administrative work. Do you think some of that $25 that you're proposing for the administration fee, some of that can be cut up, say 5 to the town as revenue, and the rest, maybe 10 goes to your cruiser? We take it in as revenues for a total of 15. And that helps offset the expenses. You don't see it directly, but it goes back into the general fund as revenue, which would help offset some of your expenses. Just a thought,
Right.
open for discussion.
I mean, I think the way that it's been now is the fact that what I see come through my office is the fact that the officer's getting paid an hourly rate. I don't see the cruiser as monetary money. I don't see the cruiser money. I don't see the admin fee because you guys keep it at the town hall side, and that's okay if it's something that we feel it should stay in that cruiser aspect. Then I'm okay with that. I just think that we need to bump it up because, you know, I've got 2 officers working for me right now that their overtime rate is larger than what we're paying for details. You know, so it would be more cost effective to run overtime than it would be to go and do details. And then I have to look at farming those out to others and other agencies. And then what happens is if I give it to Wolfboro is contracting with a person to come into our town and do a detail at $90 an hour. You know, so it falls back to that anyways.
But,
And we're not benefiting at all, that.
so
Right,
just,
right.
just so I understand, when an officer does a detail, that is over and above his normal shift work, correct?
That's
So
correct.
it's overtime in the sense that it's time they're working above normal. It's not overtime from an overtime perspective in the budget. It's just they're working more hours than they're normally scheduled.
I would term it extra work.
Okay.
When they get paid.
Yes, you're correct.
When they get paid for this detail, does it come out of a different pot?
It comes out of the revolving fund already set up and
It
established.
doesn't come out of the salary line,
That's correct.
and that's already working like that.
That right, and so what happens is that it comes out of the revolving detail fund. They get paid that work week, and then when we get the money reimbursement back from whoever hired us, it goes back into that fund, and the town also takes out what they need to take out for costs.
So when you submit a time slip for the week, you've actually got 2, you've got the town and then you've got detail, you break it out?
On our timesheet, we have a separate line for detail, so if an officer works a detail for 3 hours, it'll say from this time to this time, detail, and then at the bottom we put 3 hours, and then the girls that process the timesheets will pull that detail rate out of that designated fund.
Okay.
And,
Yeah.
and are they getting a retirement benefit for detail time?
Yes, I am being grandfathered, and I believe that new retirement program that just came back this year and part of last year, I believe that some of the younger officers are able to apply details to
To the retirement.
the retirement. Yeah,
So that's a
Depending on-
cost,
that's a little bit of a cost that'll come out of the admin fee.
right, so maybe
Yeah.
we need to adjust the admin fee, but we don't know what the cost is for an hour of work. The retirement cost. And the 6% that's social security and FICA. I
Well,
mean,
they don't pay social security.
Right. Like an example would be is like right now, $45 an hour. For me to do a detail, I pay into the retirement system. I don't bring home $45 an hour for detail. It comes out to be $42.50, something like that, because the individual that's paying into retirement still needs to get that detail money taken out as well. So I pay part of it, and the town needs to pay part of it.
right,
Yeah.
so, but this $45 is coming out of some other fund, correct?
It comes out of the detail fund.
Right.
Yeah, the
So
revolving.
you transfer, or whoever does the bookkeeping part transfers money out of that fund into the payroll account for detail.
Yes, for the officers. Yep,
Okay.
yep. Yep, and then they would pay the rest of it out of that fund for administrative costs. And then at that point in time, when the pay is back in, it goes back into the fund to replenish it. So it's continuously staying at a certain cap, whatever that may be.
I mean, it looks like the average for all the towns in the well, Carroll County Sheriff is kind of an outlier, but it seems it's $55 is the average. Maybe we could go to 60.
My proposal was going to be 60 and 25.
60 and 25 what? Admin?
60 for officer, admin 25.
Like Bartlett.
Yeah.
I'm okay with, as long as the administrative fees are covered, and like Chip suggested, the town get a small piece of the pie.
We're getting another piece of the pie with David proposal,
Why?
because there's no cruiser money. That's the only piece of the pie that
Right.
the town
So
gets.
what
we
I'm
can't
getting-
take out of the admin?
What I'm getting at is as long as our expenses are covered, and I don't think we're gonna make this decision tonight, I think those fees need to be figured out. I'm okay with the chief
I don't know if, I'm sorry. go ahead.
I'm okay with the chief setting the rate,
Mhm.
because it's his money. It's not taxpayer money that he's dealing with. I'm okay with the chief setting the rate.
Yeah, you done yet? Or you-
I'm done.
Okay. I'm okay with the chief setting the rate, except he's using our equipment. He doesn't
Correct.
pay anything for the cruisers.
Correct, that's gotta come out of administrative somehow.
And he's not paying anything for the administrative end of things where we're putting money into the retirement system.
Right.
So those two things need to get looked at.
Yeah, so,
But I like the idea of increasing the officer salary.
yeah, the I don't have a
Yep.
problem with the officer's salary. I do agree, I agree with you, Chip, on the town needs to get a small portion. I mean, especially since they are using our vehicles.
Right.
Yeah, I'm okay with this in concept.
Okay,
Yep.
cool. And I think 60 is the magic number that's a fine number with me for the officer end of things. I just don't think we have enough information to do the other two.
I'm not gonna comment on officer fee until I see what the administrative costs are. But I'm okay with the chief setting that rate, as long as, I don't want him to exceed everybody else. I don't wanna see him.
Well, I think conceptually, all of the time your officers spend on duty is overtime. Basically, it's not, like, we're expecting, I don't know what it is, 38 hours or whatever from each officer every week. So if there's a duty, if there's a detail, that's in addition to their normal operating hours.
Correct.
So it's effectively overtime, kind of. These hours that they wouldn't normally work.
If they didn't work the details, they'd just have their base.
That's
Yeah.
correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
So I don't think if you look at, we can look at the officer salary, but I don't think, if overtime's time and a half, no.
I'm just gonna say, spend some time, figure out what the administrative costs are, including cruiser, benefits that are paid based on this, because we have to pay benefits. And then whatever's left over, see what you can do with the hourly rate.
Okay,
So it sounds like we're all on board in concept.
okay, thank you. All right, I will, I'll get with Audrey when she's back and, see what kind of fees, or like the workers' comp and that kind of stuff, which I don't have access to, so, I was just talking with other chiefs through some of this stuff a while back, and they were talking about how those certain fees were covered in what they had set, so that it wasn't that every time they do a detail, they aren't paying out to get this detail done. They were making sure that their fees were covered, so I certainly can break that down and I'll bring that back to you.
And you may find, if we're a small operation, you might find, you do a 5-year look back, that there isn't that much cruising money that's happening. Anyway,
Right,
so take a look at that too.
okay,
Well, an hour for an officer is an hour for a cruiser. It's gonna be a 1-for-1.
Right, but I'm just talking in the gross, not in
Okay.
the hours. I don't know how many hours. You have a 4-hour minimum?
at 4 hour, yeah. And on another note, just so that you guys are aware too, because we're in the middle of budget season, if this is something that is gonna change next year, my other recommendation is that details for the concert series, I would like to maintain at $45 for the officer. Just because we raised this detail rate, I don't want it to affect Parks and Rec.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
That's fair. So
absolutely.
I would like to keep that the same because that's part of this budget process already that Dennis was working on and.
We've upset him enough already.
And we can have two rates, we can have an internal rate and an external rate, there's no
Yeah.
problem with that, we just have to set it.
Sure.
Right, yeah.
That's,
No, just wanted to be
Yeah,
transparent
very
on that, so that that info doesn't get out there, next thing you know, it's double what he was paying per hour or something like that.
Mhm.
I just didn't wanna have any issues, yeah, just wanted to make sure that was my intention, so.
understood.
And other than that, that's all I have for you folks.
All right.
Do you have anything for me?
No, is the cruiser up for auction?
I believe it is. I believe it finally made its way onto the municipal association website. And I had talked about maybe putting it in the granite as well as, somewhere else. I do not know if the granite and, those other areas had been put out yet, but I can tell you that it is on NHMA,
And the town website?
the town website, right? That was
Daily Sun might be a better
And-
newsprint. if you wanna
Well,
put it
I
out
wouldn't
there.
even bother with newsprint. You have to pay for it, for that.
You're
Put it on
right.
Craigslist. It's free. Well, it's $5 to put it on
Okay.
Craigslist. And you'll get
I
all
don't know.
sorts of responses. You'll get responses that you don't want.
Yeah. Okay. Yep, I could look into that.
You know, I dealt with Craigslist.
Yeah, right, exactly. Okay, yep, so that's where we're at. I had hoped that it would be out before our first snow, but I think snow came in December and
Mhm.
I know I wasn't ready for it, so.
Yep.
It is what it is,
All right.
so, okay.
Thanks, Chief.
All right, have a
Thank you,
good night,
Chief.
folks.
You too.
Get home safe.
Gonna try. Next is fire department, but we're a little bit early. So let's go to the consent calendar. In the consent calendar, we have some encumbrances to make before the end of the year. We have 7 encumbrances totaling $22,250. Number 1 is improvements, repairing the bulkhead at the town offices for $1,150. Conservation Commission water sampling for $750. Great Meadow parking lot upgrade for the Conservation Commission at $3,000. Engineering for Docks and Bridges line for the Union Wharf boat ramp is $6,500. Emergency management, the hazardous mitigation plan update is $4,000. 2024 audit, $2,250. And cemetery trustees, $4,600. So, per RSA 32:7, the Board of Selectmen need to vote to encumber these funds.
And the total was again, Bob?
$22,250.
Okay, I'll move that we encumber $22,250.
I'll second
that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
And we have gravel tax levy of $120 for, looks like a property up on Mountain Road.
So not going.
Yep. So I believe we sign the gravel tax levy.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we have a bill, revision. Let's see, looks like about 1/3 of the total for the work that they've done so far, for the total of $131,982.90. So I will move that we pay the bill of $131,982.90.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I thought that, I looked at the installation, I thought it was gonna be closer to the pavement. And it's moved towards that embankment more. Have you been out?
I've seen it,
I think
yeah.
we're gonna probably be finding to cut all those trees down up on top of the embankment, but let's throw some juniper or something up there for slope management.
I don't see a place to sign off on this. So I'm just gonna write approved. Sign below my name. That's it for consent calendar.
You know what the statutes as well. Sign off on the culverts.
Right, yes.
Yep. This has to do with the election. The special election, January 20th. Let's see. Do you want this in a motion? You know?
What is it that I'm looking at?
The language needs to be officially in that language to accept all the culverts.
So that's what we need to read off.
Yes,
I'm
please.
guessing.
Okay, so I'll make a motion that the select board, in a majority vote, accepts the terms of the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program amendment as presented for Union Wharf Road to reflect the change of period of performance dates from April 12th, 2026 to April 2nd, 2026 to April 2nd, 2027. They're bumping it out a year.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, looks like we have to initial pages.
Do we have one for each project?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Three or four.
Yeah, there's 4, I believe.
This one is for, Sodom Road. I'll make a motion that the select board, in majority vote, accepted the terms of the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program amendment as presented for Sodom Road to reflect the change of period of performance dates from April 2nd, 2026 to April 2nd, 2027.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
You already initialized the IT regulation stuff. I got most of them down. Yes. Yes. It's only Bob's signature.
The signature page, there's room for everybody. Hi, chief. And I will make a motion that the select board in a majority vote accepted the terms of the hazard mitigation grant program as presented in the amount of $7,593.75 for updating the local hazard mitigation plan. Furthermore, the board acknowledges that the total cost of this project will be $10,125, in which the town will be responsible for a 25% match, which is $2,531.25.
I'll second, and for discussion. Didn't we just encumber that amount of money?
It was supposed to be, yes. Well, it
Yes.
was in the process.
Yes, it is in this file.
Second.
And I have further information when you want that.
That's a Caleb. Was it Caleb? Or Chris? Sorry.
It's all of us.
Yep, we are covered.
Okay, so second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Initials on 13 pages. Mortgage.
How's your day been, Chief?
Right.
Just as you would expect, so to speak?
Yeah.
Could be worse.
You're not disappointed?
No. You know, I was hoping for the extra 70 calls to make up for, the highest call volume. Everyone around us is
You mean the surrounding towns?
just around me.
Yeah.
Get to hit three.
Where do we fall on that? Somewhere in the middle or it's lower end?
Lower.
Lower.
For right now.
Yeah. But the 90's
yeah.
That's right.
Well, here's hoping that it stays
Yes.
quiet. Well, they're not duplex printed, which is nice actually, in this case.
Yeah, I'm looking for a signature page and I'm not seeing a
Is
signature.
it at the very front? I thought I saw something at the front.
Possibly. Possibly. It's always the last page you look at, it's never the first. Here we go. Starting there. Okay.
The missing page is quite high. 13. I've used this much ink in my life since college.
Done. This is correspondence.
No, sorry. The one we just did this action.
Yes.
What's Bill doing? It was pretty slippery earlier, but I think that's coming to come on back. But I should say it, when I went across it, won some of these movements.
Oh,
Pretty slow.
you had to go up, you had up or down?
We've been out and about, yeah. Whichever way I call
The last snowstorm, I saw my road agent's truck getting record out of 30 miles by Shiloh.
There was a, oh, thank you.
He
There
said
was
to
a-
return to you.
Okay.
Well, your captain.
There was one of the DOT trucks that got taken out of 171.
Oh, that was Wayne's truck.
Wayne's
He,
truck.
he lost.
Did you get the white truck?
Yeah.
Yeah, he lost a universal or something.
Oh, but it wasn't an accident.
No,
It was
no.
No, breakdown.
breakdown.
Yeah, breakdown. I think he lost a universal or something.
Something that big,
Oh, yeah.
sitting in the road.
Yeah, yeah. When I saw him, he was off to the side.
Full of sand.
Yeah.
Okay, fire department update.
A change up on that, because as I was looking it over, I
Mhm.
noticed that the motor size is incorrect on the paperwork. So I'll give you the new ones when we get to that. So this update was done a couple weeks ago, obviously when its cutoff was December 15th.
Yep.
At that time, we had 698 calls for 2024 and 196 inspections for 2024. As of 12/12/25, we had 621 calls with 151 inspections. And currently, today, we've had 652 calls, but that's not on that. That'll be in the next update.
So you're kind of on, you're
It's
kind of
pretty
on par,
Yeah,
Pretty close.
more or less.
we're coming right in.
If you're within 5-10%, you're on par.
We had a couple accidents, one versus a car versus deer on 123 Middle Rose.
So that was not our rescue one car that had to do it, or somebody else.
Yeah, it was someone else. Rescue one, car one with 3 personnel aided Tuftonboro Police Department with a vehicle which struck a deer with moderate front end damage. We went to the scene, did a sign off and cleaned up the material, made the vehicle drivable by removing some pieces off the vehicle so it could be driven home. And then, once the sign off was done, they were all set. 427 Governor Wentworth Highway was a reported 3-car motorcycle accident. Rescue 1, Ambulance 1 responded to the scene with 5 personnel. Occupants on scene claimed no injuries, with sign-offs obtained. 2 vehicles were driven away, and the 3rd one left the scene prior to our arrival and the police department's arrival. And Stewart's was canceled.
It's Milton Village?
Yes, 427. We had another incident there earlier today, which will be on next month's report. We had an odor of smoke in a residence. Engine 2, Engine 1, and Rescue 1 with 6 personnel with Stewart's ambulance checked the residence and found the smoke coming from a neighbor's property from the outside. Area of 349 Mountain Road. MV rollover with occupant entrapped. Engine 1, Rescue 1, Ambulance 1 with 6 personnel managed the call. Subject and a dog was extricated from the vehicle, no complaint of injury, sign off obtained. Stewart's Ambulance and Tuftonboro PD with state police were also at the scene, and 2 people were at Central for cover. 15 Cops Hill Road. On 12/9/25, we had a reported extinguished garage fire. Rescue 1 and Car 1 with 3 personnel checked the reported extinguished garage fire. It was due to improper disposal of fireplace ashes. We checked the garage for extension into the walls and for CO. All units cleared the scene. That was a particular case that person had the proper disposal, had it in metal to begin with, then transferred it to a plastic container before he was going to take it to the transfer station.
This is ashes from.
Yes. Yes. So we just want to remind everyone that yes, the ashes always should be in metal container. They should stay in that metal container until you take them outside somewhere away from the residence and make sure that they're out. We could have ended up with an incident at the transfer station.
Yeah,
Right.
You don't want
Well,
people throwing ashes
I
away in the
never-
transfer station.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Ever.
that happens. So luckily minimal damage, and the subject was able to put the fire out with 2 extinguishers that he had at the property on hand, and there wasn't a lot of extension to the fire. If he hadn't been working from home that day, it could have been a whole different story. E&E is still working on our heating system as of this time. I believe that they hopefully got it
Excuse me.
situated.
Yeah, at the budget committee meeting, you said it was resolved.
Yeah, well, this was at 12/12/25 when this was written.
Yep.
So it's resolved. We do have quirks in the system as far as that every time the power flashes, goes out, it changes the time. It goes back to 2020 on the system, and it puts the system in unoccupied. So we have to keep going back every time the power goes out and fix that. But I think the last gentleman that came out and went through the system with a computer laptop, he said that we should see some savings as far as electrical and things like that, that he had found some items that were fighting each other, and some issues with the system. So I'm hoping for some changes. Yeah.
Keep your fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Yeah. Night security did some minor repairs on the 2 stations, Melbourne and Central. One of the door keypads has a lifetime warranty and is replaced. We just had to pay for installation. Obviously, we have a hearing tonight to accept the new boat 2. We assisted Parks and Rec Department. They did a good job with 12/6/25 as far as Santa and everything, the tree lighting. Captain Morgan continues to wrap up Sodom Road grant for the culvert towards the Middle Road side. And the department's been working with Camp Sentinel, Northwoods, and Belknap on fire prevention side of things. All 3 camps are in the midst of ongoing projects they are looking to build.
I can see the building permit for Northwoods. Have you seen that one? I saw the Sentinel one and the Belknap one.
It's possible. I don't recall seeing one, but
Yeah, Northwoods is the medical building with possible sleeping quarters up above. Infirmary and with employees about it.
I remember talking about it as a planning board.
So that is that.
It's,
As far as At 4:10 today, we received some paperwork from the Lakes Region Planning Commission. I have a question in reference, are we part of the Lakes Region Planning Commission currently? Good. They sent this agreement out, which is just a draft for you guys to look at. I did see one area under the amounts. They're saying 75, 93, 75 at 90%, and 25, 31 at 25 at 10%. Those numbers don't add up. I think it should have been 75, 25 matching grants as far as the percentage.
When Audrey gets back, I'm not gonna sign this until she's.
Oh, no, I wouldn't sign anything with that.
And what if-
That's just to look at anyway. Yeah, just a draft.
What's it for?
For this hazardous mitigation plan that you had just filled out the grant from. So, but they will be doing the plan. The last plan, well, let me start over. The first plan, when I started, we had them do it, or we had a company do it, and it cost whatever amount of money. And there was a matching percentage that we had to do. The next one we did, didn't have anyone from the town as far as a group like we did in the first time. And I feel that we should have the group together. You know, there's usually a selectman, road agent, someone from the fire department, someone from the police department, someone from outside of, you know, business-wise, and a couple other people that we get together probably like 3 or 4 times and go through and actually do the hazardous mitigation planning as far as it goes for the town. And then the Lakes Region Planning Commission puts it all together from there as far as information. So,
I believe the chairman of our planning board is our representative to the Lakes Region Planning Commission.
okay.
So you need to
We
confirm these.
as I said, we just printed this off, but looking at it, I believe it should have been 75, 25, not 90, 10, because it doesn't add up as far as money-wise. And you can keep that as a copy to look over as far as it goes.
Okay.
Did you have any further questions in reference to the hazardous mitigation? He's initialed and signed everything as far as the proper paperwork.
Trust you've got your paperwork in
Yeah.
order.
And we have to have that in by January 12th, 2026. So that would be good. It'll give them enough time to get that in. As far as fire department side of things, looking at the budget, and I'm sure that Mr. Olivey has looked at the budget as far as that goes. It's the first time in 25 years that we actually have gone over the bottom line on the budget wise. And obviously that was a couple different things, vehicle maintenance, and as far as the call firefighter pay side of things, we were within $800 of predicting what we were gonna spend with the call firefighter side of things before it got cut last year. So the numbers that we have come up with have come pretty close as far as what we have coming out. Besides vehicle maintenance there was a couple items that we hadn't prepared for, obviously. Engine 1 was one of them that was $9,539.84. for the rust repairs and AC condenser unit. Ambulance 1, we weren't planning to put 6 new tires on it. That was $2,706.21. And the paint issue that we had with ambulance 1 was $5,893.30.
Would you itemize those on a letter to the selectmen? Because we may need to want to think about taking that money out of contingency.
Well, it's 6.5 does the other. We're not gonna go over budget on the total budget. So whatever his department's over currently, so it's gonna have to come from somewhere.
Right.
There was another decision that was made, I forget what it was last week, but some money came out of contingency for that. I mean, just as an aside, I had kind of thought about this, and we'll have a discussion about the past budget meeting that I was at. But although my brother selectmen don't believe this is actually the case, I remember up until about 4 years ago, you coming in all puffed up with the declaration that you had underspent your budget by however many tens of thousands of dollars. That particular occurrence has been eliminated under this new regime. So our fire chief, our transfer station director, our road agent, our police chief don't get to participate in the active management of their budget. That's the way I look at it. These budgets are being set. We'll be lucky. We've got $120,000 left currently, but we just signed, I don't know how many thousands of dollars.
22.5.
Yeah. Well, no, we signed some checks tonight as well. Payables.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we'll be lucky to have any money left at all at the end of the year. Now, their position is gonna be, well, you've got this coming in or that coming in, and your police station's gonna come under budget. That police station coming in under budget and that money that goes into the unassigned fund balance is the work of us. Once again, I'm gonna say, we don't let our managers have any credit, have any participation in the active management of their department. And for years, that was not the case. And this whole idea of they'll spend all the money we give them is complete bullshit. And I'm very impatient with bullshit, because they will not spend all the money we give them. They will operate and be active participants in the operation of their budget, just as they always were back then. It's kind of like, I'll give you an analogy. In the last 50 years, I've probably had 20 dogs at my house living with me. None of them have ever begged. And the reason that all happened, and they all live fine, is that their food bowls were always full. Sometimes the bowls got eaten, sometimes the bowls didn't get eaten at all, but they were always full. What they've done is taken all the food out of the bowl, and so the dog that doesn't have food in the bowl is gonna wanna be hungry all the time, and every time you put food in there, they're gonna eat it. So we've taken that analogy and turned it on its head as far as our departments are concerned. And I just find it really untenable. I think it's a terrible way to do business. I'm done editorial. Thank you for your efforts.
The only question I have, is there any further payroll that is coming out of this year? Or was this last week's, because there was like
Payroll
an extra.
Monday to Monday, doesn't it? Audrey?
Thursday to Wednesday.
Thursday
Thursday
to
and
Wednesday.
and Thursday's the 1st. So,
Right, but
So I'm wondering if this coming week's checks come out of 2025 this year, or
yes, this coming week's paycheck is coming out of 2025. That'll be your last one.
right,
but this coming week, as far as
you got one more paycheck coming.
Huh?
There's one more paycheck.
Yeah,
coming
yeah,
out
the
of
one that they get, the one
25.
they get at the end of the week, at the end of this, or Monday, whenever you get it. Your next paycheck is 2025.
Okay.
Mostly, actually, it's gonna be divvied up. Part of it's gonna be 2025, part of it's gonna be
Wednesday to
2026.
Thursday is probably not gonna be, well, it might be a day, but it's a holiday.
You said Thursday to Wednesday?
12/31 of 25 is the
12/31
end
is
of
gonna
the
end on
period.
Wednesday, so I guess it'll all come out of 2025.
Right, so there will be
Another, a little bit
a
more.
little bit more.
Yep.
Which we did, there was apparently a week that we didn't plan for.
I don't think there's 53 weeks in 2025. We did that
That was
4 years
a
ago.
couple of years ago.
Right.
It just seems like there was, because for FD fire chief salary, I have $99.05 left.
You won't get paid.
So,
Gonna have to burn
either there's no,
gonna have to burn some vacation time.
yeah,
Everybody will get
we
paid.
got 141 hours. I think I can get it before the end of the,
Everyone will get paid.
yeah, no, I understand that, but I just wanted to,
It's gonna kick that line
I'm
over.
wondering where we went
We're
on.
gonna meet again next Monday, so I think we should be able to have, I would hope, I don't know when Audrey's getting back, but we should have an updated budget for Monday's meeting.
When did you get back?
She's out of the office until next Monday.
Oh, so yeah, it's gonna be a very
All right, that's all right, we can work in that.
minimal week next week, even though we're
We
gonna.
get Cammy to do it, once she gets her postings done. Who's doing the payroll?
Cammy?
Okay, so once Cammy gets the payroll done, I can get her to post, I'm sure we can get a budget put together to see what we actually stay. Yeah. You buying a boat?
Yeah, well,
We're
are we there?
voting on the donation of that. I do have some questions in reference to the old boats sale. Is that something that we can go over after the public
Yeah, well, yeah, let's just do the public hearing part, get that over with.
is?
Do you have language for the motion?
So here's the change.
Yeah.
I know that it
What's
was
the change to?
just the horsepower.
Oh,
It's 525 horse versus 450. Not a big deal. But that's the rubber.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it ready.
I thought that there was some paper, further information that was turned in. So, I agree.
I thought there was a sheet.
Oh, here it is, I got it.
And,
It's number 1.
Yep, and we have 3 items
Yes, sir.
for the public hearing tonight.
we have to have 3 separate hearings?
Well, I don't think we have to, well, I guess technically it is, but we can do it in parts. So, I'm just, for the record, I'm gonna open up a public hearing. Pursuant to New Hampshire RSA 31:95E, the Tufton Borough Board of Selectmen would like to open a public hearing to accept property donated to the town in excess of $5,000 from the Tufton Borough Firefighters Association for equipment for the new airboat. Is there any public input? Nobody from the public is here. So, that being said, I'm going to make a motion to accept property donated to the town in the amount of $50,000 from the Tufton Borough Firefighters Association for equipment for the new airboat. Could I get a second?
I'll second.
Okay, for discussion. Would you like to,
So the airboat, we took it out for first training last week. things went well. We found a few little hiccups and different things, but nothing that, that couldn't be addressed. The only thing that we currently have left to finish up on the boat is the lettering. Everything else has been taken care of. The radios put in, the trailer modifications, protected gear and equipment, and anything else as far as that needed to be done has all been taken care of. The safety helmets and so they're Team Wendy rescue helmets and the David Clark hearing protection and communications, that's all been installed. And it's actually working great as far as, it's night and day of the old units that we had.
You can actually hear.
Yes, yes, you can actually hear and talk to each other as far as.
So your former airboat is gonna be sold?
The former airboat, and that will be your decision of how it is sold. I know that Arrow, New Hampshire Fire Department is still very interested in it. They've called at least 3 times in the time period that we've been going through this to see if we're still looking at selling it, putting it out the bid, how it's going to be done.
So my recollection is that airboat was purchased like this one with some money from the Leftover Firefighters Association.
Yes.
You should look up that amount that the firefighters gave the town for that purchase, and also the gross purchase of that airboat.
$36,500
So that was the
was
whole
the
boat.
whole boat.
Okay, and how much did the
Uh,
firefighters get?
we did 30%, I believe.
Okay, so 30% of whatever we sell,
So $9,000-$10,000.
30% of whatever we sell this used boat for should go back to the firefighters.
But it was donated to the town, so then it was
Right.
town property.
Right.
Can we do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, in concept, the chief is right. They donated it to the town, so it's
Right.
the town's boat. Any proceeds that we get, it's up to us to decide what to do with it. However, since it was donated with donated funds, you are absolutely right in principle that we should give
Yeah, I
the
mean,
proceeds of the sale of the boat back to the Tufton Borough Firefighters Association.
It's a great relationship that we have, and I'd like to encourage that
Absolutely.
relationship.
And I'll move that, I'll make a motion that whatever this boat sells for, however we decide to sell it, that the proceeds go to the Tufton Borough Firefighters Association.
30% of it.
In
30% of the sale price,
What proceeds,
of the
right?
proceeds,
That's all they gave us was 30%.
30%. Okay, so,
So that's
So-
what we're gonna get back.
okay.
So in this particular case, it was $50,000. And I would have to go back and look and see what the exact was.
Like 12,000.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I have a motion on the table that
I'll second.
30% of the proceeds of the sale go to the Tufton Borough Firefighters Association. I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
So whether it's municipal bid or you want to sell it to a municipality, like we did Car One, not quite sure. I know that I was looking and I saw that you have a minimum bid of $5,000 for the cruiser that was out there, which was newer than our Car One, and we got 7,500 from the municipality as far as it goes.
Yep.
We were looking at a minimum bid of $25,000 for the boat. So,
Have you received an offer from Errol?
yeah, we received an offer of 25 grand with that. The chief selectman told him to, whether it's going out to bid through the,
You got an offer of 25,000?
Yes.
Was that Kim?
Not a bad return.
that's from the fire chief. Kim, I guess,
I know she's a selectman.
I just saw something online that she's a selectman.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
that's what I saw too.
Yeah. But his selectman told him to, pursue it, to try to get it, because they have area up there, obviously, that it's miles that they have to travel to get to people in different areas. They currently have a fish and game officer that's in charge of the fish and games airboats that lives in town or somewhere close by. And then they have Chip Joseph that is part of their department in their town, that when I originally spec'd out our airboat, they were taking delivery of the Fish and Games sister boat to that, so he knows a lot about it. So I think that it would be very useful here, but then again, you need to make a decision of what you need to do.
Okay, do we wanna do, and I hate to throw it out like this, but do we wanna do the fiscally responsible thing and put it out to bid and see what we can get for it? Or do we wanna be a good neighbor and sell it to a fellow, fire department for, a very good offer?
We can still do that even if we put it out to bid. We're not obligated to take the highest bidder, but I think we need to put it out to bid just to see if there's, I mean, I don't know what the market is for airboats.
Right.
Somebody could come in and offer you 50 for it, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the discussion's different.
Right.
But if somebody offers you 27 and they'll give you 25, now we can talk about being a good citizen.
If we do not sell it to a municipality, there'll probably be like $1,000, $1,500 in stripping fees, as far as boat wise, for lights, radios, and all of that different stuff.
Okay,
That will be taken out of that.
all right, and that's important to advertise it like that.
Because
Motion?
it can't go
We
to,
made the motion?
No, do you wanna make a motion?
Oh, I'll make a motion. I thought we made a motion.
Yeah, I thought you made.
No, I didn't, we were just, no, for selling. I made a motion for accepting the grant, now we're talking about,
And I seconded, and then we had a discussion. So I think you can.
we still have a motion on the table,
Right.
okay. So for accepting the, are you done with your presentation?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a motion on the table to accept, the grant, whatever wording I said. It's been seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Roll call vote, please.
Roll call vote. Murray, yes.
Definitely, yes.
Alder, yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Now, to sell the old boat.
Is that,
It's not part of the motion.
oh,
Separate discussion, but
I'm gonna make a motion that the chief put it out on the, what is it? Municipal bid process and come back to us with bids.
I'll second.
any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
and we're hoping in the next couple of weeks that we get people trained up on the current boat and not keep it as long as we thought, because it's, if we take too much equipment off of the old boat and put it on the new boat, then you run into issues as far as not having stuff where you need.
Right, so you want to do this, you want to do this pretty quickly.
So we're gonna try to do it quicker than we thought. We were thinking that we would keep the other boat until like March, and go from there, but, I think that within the next couple of weeks, if we get out a couple hours, of the main operators and stuff, that we'll be in good shape. It is a total different animal as far as the boat, compared to the one that we've driven for the last 20 years as far as it goes. It handles a lot different on the ice. It moves a lot different in the open water.
I mean, I think it's 20 years worth of,
You get serious power.
yeah, 20 years of, improvements.
Right, it's come a long way.
Yeah, yeah, and give us some torque to deal with there too, won't you? Okay.
So,
All right, so we're all set there. I'm gonna close the public hearing for the $5 donation. And pursuant to New Hampshire RSA 41:11 and any other applicable state statutes, the Tuftonboro Board of Selectmen would like to open a public hearing to amend the town of Tuftonboro parking ordinance. Is there any public input?
And what's the amendment?
The amendment is basically, I think it's just the changes in parking that we did at 19 Mile Bay Beach.
Okay,
No trailer parking on the lake side of the road between the bridge and Bay Road.
oops, sorry.
Everything else is unchanged.
Correct.
Correct.
Right.
Okay.
I'll make a, did we made the motion?
I have not made a motion.
I'll make a motion that we change our municipal parking regulations, docking and parking ordinance, section B, 19 Mile Bay Beach parking, to read, there shall be no parking of vehicles and trailers attached between the 19 Mile Bay Brook Bridge and Bay Road along the lake side of the road. This area is reserved for vehicle parking without trailers or those utilizing the beach.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Marie, yes.
Duffin, yes.
I'll be yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You go.
Okay, I'm going to close that public hearing. And thirdly, pursuant to RSA 79-D:5, the Tuftonboro Board of Selectmen would like to open a public hearing to review a discretionary preservation easement for historical agricultural structure located at 56 Durgan Road in Tuftonboro. I believe this is Max's barn.
I thought that turned out.
Turned out.
It did. He had to reply again. I think it's only a 10-year.
The tenure.
Right, but I think it's been 10 years.
Which you need, he has to apply again.
And it goes back to us for that.
Yeah, I got that part. I just didn't, does this go on ad infinitum?
No, I think it's another 10-year term.
And then can you do another one after that?
I believe so.
That's the whole point.
Yep.
That's how it's structured.
So I would make a motion to accept renewal of a discretionary preservation easement for historical agricultural structure located at 56 Durgan Road, Tuftonboro, New Hampshire.
I'll second.
Any further discussion?
I won't be here 10 years from now.
Well-
But it would be nice to read what this discretionary easement provides for. It happened before I came and now it's happening.
Well, yeah, but I believe the paperwork was in our folder last week, 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago. Yeah, all that paperwork was in there
Okay,
then.
that's fine.
And at that time, we were all good with it. Motion's been made, seconded. No further discussion? All those in favor? Murray, yes?
Duffin, yes.
I'll be yes.
Okay. 3-0. And I will close the public hearing. That concludes our public hearings.
Nice.
Thank you.
Do you have anything further that?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. You're just gonna do, you're gonna write a list
Yes.
for us about the extra expenses that you had to incur, unanticipated.
And when are you getting your new fire engine?
Possibly May of 2026, May 26.
So I
It's
know-
20 years, 6 months.
I know when we did that purchase or contract, you had two options. One was financing it or paying cash.
Yeah.
And the other was this lease purchase. If you could just dig that file up for me sometime, so I can look at that,
Sure.
see what the difference was.
I think the difference was like savings of like $50,000.
Right,
Initially.
but it takes them 2 years to build this thing, right?
Yes,
So
roughly
you don't give
almost 3 years.
Yeah, almost 3. You don't give them $2 million up front.
Right.
So I was trying to figure out the payment status if you were to purchase it as opposed to leasing it.
Okay.
So the money would go. Because the chief and I did chat Well, yeah, I was making sure his lunch went cold down at 19 Mile Bay.
Nice.
That if it's gonna take 2 to 3 years to build one of these things, we need to maybe have a talk about extending the lifespan to 25 years, from 20 years. And spreading those numbers out a little better. And cause the other part being is that there's gonna be warrants either next year or the year after to improve Melbourne and Mirror Lake. So your capacity for engines is gonna be better, given that happening. But I think we really need to spread those numbers a little bit. Cause right now we're putting money into a reserve account so that we don't have to do a lease purchase and we'll save ourselves, whatever it was, 50 grand. I'm not sure that's the end of the story. I'd like to look at how does the story work if you move this number up to 25 or 23, whatever, come up with a number.
Right.
The first thing to consider in that conversation is where the 20-year benchmark comes from.
Right, and I think what the chief is using is like a national.
And
fire
yeah,
standards
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Is it a
it's-
mandate or a recommendation?
So the NFPA says that primary vehicle will be on the front lines for 15 years. We're using 20 years
Right.
as far as it goes.
So you're already extending it out 5 years.
Yes. But
You use the word primary,
so
as opposed to what?
So in departments that are running them, call after call after call, with a Laconia or one of the bigger departments as far as the areas, that those tracks are just beat.
Right, so 15 years maybe makes more sense
Yeah,
because you're
but
putting
that-
on more miles.
And
So
that's the
does
one
that
you
apply
take-
to us?
That's the one you take out first in every time.
Yes. So secondary is up to 20 years, and then they're supposed to be replaced as far as it goes. We go with the 20 years because it's not going out every day, in B&B. They do, when they go out, they do get run hard as far as, calls and out in different elements. And
They do what they're
running
supposed to
for
do.
hours. They do what they're supposed to do. I would caution going, I didn't have it all thought out when I was talking to you at the store. I would caution going 25 years because stuff is not lasting.
Yeah, I guess the
As far
the
as
caveat
time
is
period.
that, can you still get parts for your vehicle?
Right. That's the only thing to take into consideration.
And all I'm looking at is having this discussion. Is there a operational plan that would work that might spread these out? Because we're sitting here still waiting
Mhm.
and probably waiting a little longer for the new engine to show up. And cutting checks every year for $250,000.
Well, maybe we don't, I'm just using a raw number, this is not a number that came from a book. Let's say we put, $50,000 a year, just using $50,000 a year for a number. Maybe we don't put 50,000, maybe we put in 40,000 and make the final payment
Bigger,
bigger.
right? But that's historically what
We're still paying cash,
right.
but we have, I don't know, I guess you call it a balloon payment.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
that's
historically,
good, yeah.
that's what we've done on any number of things.
Because I think the budget committee,
Put money aside. I mean, the police station essentially is what happened. I mean, we could put money aside for 6 years and all of a sudden got another $500,000 when we get a police station. So the same with the fire engines or the town truck or whatever it is you're doing. You try to figure out. I mean, I know the desire on the part of some in the budget committee is to have all the money put away. So when you
Budget,
write the check,
CIP.
it all gets paid.
yeah, this way you've got it laid out, and
Right.
it's a fine plan, but
Right, but
it's costly.
well, and it takes an awful lot of the management and latitude out of what we do on an annual basis. I mean, currently, we have the second lowest tax rate in the county. And one of the fourth lowest in the state. You don't get that by not managing your expenses and managing your, warrants. So I'm just looking at, we're gonna have a warrant discussion on election day, on the 20th.
We sure are. And there's been a lot of talk in the last couple of weeks about how our tax rate and valuations changed drastically this year. We saw 30% plus.
Tax rate didn't go up 30%.
No. Tax rate went down, but the valuations went up about 30%. So, there's going to be a lot of discussion about what's coming up for 2026. And the way that the CIP and Budget Committee has structured the capital improvement plan, got a lot of money being asked for this year. A lot of
Yeah, I don't think that 2.7's totally out of the realm of possibility unless we come up with some other plan. And I think we have, a lot, what they don't factor in are some of the things that we know that we do factor in that, for whatever reason, they don't. And so we need to look at that outgoing stuff. There are gonna be years coming up that we have less going out.
Yeah.
For stuff that's currently going out, and we can improve the status of some of our savings accounts.
I'm fully in favor of the concept of capital reserves moving forward, because there's gonna be a lot of money being spent in the next 20 years between fire engines, fire
Right,
station improvements.
and I didn't want to protract this discussion, but we have never put money aside for items that are under $100,000, ever. That's a one-time purchase.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about your equipment thing, which we'll have a long talk about. To put a program together that allows them to buy their equipment, that it just seems like an extra line item that doesn't need to be there.
The point I'm trying to make is that there's got to be a lot of money spent in the next 20 years, and the capital improvement plan committee, in concert with the budget committee and us, of course, have done a fine job of putting this plan together, but it's coming with a price tag.
Right, that's what we have to modify it. And there's no reason why we should modify it. And we can, and I don't want to protract this, but the other thing I'm gonna do for the Board of Selectmen is go back 10 years, which is about when we started doing some major paving, and figure out when we paved what road. And then we'll make a decision. Are we paving the main roads on a 5-year rotation, an 8-year rotation? Are we doing the neighborhood roads on a 15-year rotation? And we can come up with a schedule, just like the CIP report, for when the paving's gonna happen. I'm trying to fit the paving that they would like us to do, $625,000, into the reality of our roads. We've done an awful lot of our roads, so we're well ahead of that schedule that Lakes Region put together. But I think going forward, it would be nice to know, like we did with the police cruiser, we don't have to buy a cruiser for 2 years, so there's one little item we don't have to deal with this year, we can deal with it next year. Yeah, I think it was fun.
It just seems like the roads, they break down
Some of them do,
pretty quick.
but some of them don't. At Pine Mill Drive, you might get 15 years out of that.
No, sure. I think Pine Mill Drive, last time that was paved was 30 years ago.
Right.
Yeah, it's like Shirley Way.
Mm-hmm.
It was
It's probably another 30-year-old
Yeah.
road.
So, I think it would come up with a schedule, then making that pavement budget.
Mm-hmm. I drove the roads that we were talking about for 2026. I drove Sodom Road, I drove Harvest Lane, I drove New Road. We need to have a discussion about that.
Yeah.
There's sections of the road that need to be paved, and there's other sections of those roads that do not need to be paved. So, again, it's a discussion for another time.
What do all the markers mean on Sodom?
Don't take fire trucks over this
What markers?
Was it HEB?
Oh, yeah, HEB's doing culvert,
Oh, is that
engineering.
all called it?
Yeah, it's all culvert
Wow.
stuff.
And, you know, we got one,
Union Wharf.
Union Wharf Road.
Yeah.
Curtis Road, Cane Valley Road.
Right by Gunroads.
I was wondering.
Yep.
What culvert, you know, when you initially started talking about another culvert there. So-
Union Wharf, Sodom,
Yeah,
Canaan, and Curtis.
it's because we keep having these 100-year
Floods.
events every 2 or 3 years.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's it for the chief.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you very much for your efforts.
Thank you. And let's see, correspondence. We have a new payment schedule for the Governor Whitman School District. Project status report. For Canaan Road, Curtis Road, Sodom Road, and Union Wharf Road. And these, I believe these are all just in the engineering stages.
Mhm.
That is it for correspondence. No town administrator tonight, selectmen's updates?
I have a question more than an update. I'm doing the Tucker Borough Times. I've got police station updates, solar project, fire vote. What else? What other big ticket items fall under that?
Well, we've got
Upcoming elections, two of them.
election on the 20th,
Well,
or when's it due?
the 20th is probably not gonna. I'll check on that one.
And town meeting coming up. Encourage people to come out and vote.
Right, and we did award the work on the transfer station roof and this transfer station compactor building windows.
Yep, some more wall work has already started.
And we awarded the work on the highway garage.
Solar progress, police station
Solar's
progress.
working right along, that should be up and running.
Transfer
Good
station,
budget.
ahead.
highway.
The winter edition will be delivered to mailboxes on January 17th.
Okay, mailboxes, 17. Very good.
Right, we don't have a post office anymore.
One fewer anyway.
Yep. You might want to mention in the police station, because the last article, we said we were going to update people about the financial snafu that we had.
Mm-hmm.
You might want to mention that it's all been cleared up and, you know, whatever verbiage you want to use.
Right. A spring finish, some form. Late spring probably.
Yeah.
The well's in, the siding's going on.
Spring ribbon cutting.
Spring of 26.
Yeah, there's no date. There's no date, but we're anticipating
Completion.
springtime. Sure.
Yeah. Or by mid-year.
All right. I'm probably going to do it on New Year's Day. So, and it's due on Friday, so keep an eye out.
Okay.
I don't have a lot of time between now and New Year's Day to do it, so unfortunately it's gonna be then.
Okay. I'm sure it'll be just fine.
It's gonna be, just looking at all this, it's gonna be hefty.
Yeah. It'd be lovely.
Anything from you?
Yeah, you always get something from me.
Yeah.
Let's do just a quick review of the last budget meeting. I've not gone to budget meetings, as you know, but I did happen to be at that one with the CIP committee. A couple of things stood out. First thing out of the chairman's mouth was that we got a 12% increase in the operating budget. And he took that right off of a spreadsheet that Audrey had put together. And even me with my meager math skills could look at the two numbers, last year's budget and this year's budget, understand it wasn't 12%. It was nowhere near that. It was about 6.2%. If you take the amount of discounts or reductions that the budget committee has already done, we're at a 5.4% increase. So it's important to overall. So if they pass everything else and don't change anything, just change the two things that they change lower, then it's a 5.4% increase overall, year to year.
This is budget to budget or actual to
But
budget?
you only do actual to actual or budget to budget.
I know you can't do actual to budget, right,
Yeah.
I get that, that's what I want to make sure.
Budget to budget. So that, you kind of have to think a little faster on your feet. You did a good job of defending the waste management bid, but not enough. When that transfer station was constructed over 30 years ago, the decision was made at that point in time that those people who made those decisions wanted all the trash to leave town. And the only money they wanted to raise from the taxpayers were for the buildings and the equipment in the buildings. So there are two companies in the state of New Hampshire, then and now, who will actually do what we have done. Provide the containers, haul it away, bring the empty containers back. And that's Waste Management and Casella. In 2019, I did check with Casella on their rates, and their landfill, which is in Littleton or someplace up north of here, is further away than Rochester, and there was no way they were going to meet the prices of waste management. When you look at the presentation, sort of off-the-cuff presentations that Conway would take it or Osby would take it, you just need to cut that off at the knees. Those towns cannot take our trash. I don't care what any of those members say, without going through a complete permitting process with DES, which costs a lot of money, and getting authority to take an additional whatever, however many tons of trash Tuftonboro takes, and they're not keeping it. So they have to get it transferred. So the only other alternative that was present in the 90s when we did this was to actually own our own containers, have our roll-off truck, and transport it to Turnkey or wherever we could transport it to. That's about a $500,000 budget right there just for capital equipment. And we haven't hired the driver who's got a CDL to go down there. And we haven't included the insurance for heavy hauling over the road with a trash container. So all of that notion is a non-player. The other thing to remember about the transfer station is that currently, as of Sunday, he brought in over $120,000 worth of revenue. So if you look at the budget year to year, he's looking at a 5.6% increase, I think, and that was all in wages. But his revenue, we need to get a hold of before the next budget hearing, because I believe that revenue's up over last year by 20 grand. So Jack Parsons brings in building permits. So I can't say the transfer station's the only place that brings in revenue. But when 10 or 15 or close to 20% of their operating costs are offset by revenue that they don't get to show on the sheet that we have that's their budget because it goes into the operating budget or into the general fund. That makes a big difference. It really does. And they're not getting any credit for it. Once again, I'll be really pissed off, and I hope they're watching now, if they cut that transfer station budget, because they're doing exactly the same thing that I described was happening at the fire department. We've got historically and currently the cleanest transfer station in America, as far as I can see. And they're not getting any credit for that. And they're bringing in a bunch of revenue and not getting any credit for that. So those are two items that need to get looked at. And I think the idea that they might bring up the next time, which is increasing the contingency fund. Okay, so we get all the credit then. You know, this comes back to our discussion with Jackie. We do a lot of the decision-making right here, but a lot of it's done out there in the departments. And that's where you need, you know, those are your boots on the ground, they're the players in the field, they're the ones that are operating the thing. And if you're not giving them any credit, if you will, for their skill set, then they're just gonna work the contract, they're just gonna, you know, they don't get to be part of the bigger team. And that, I think that's a really short-sighted way to manage anything, but obviously there are more intelligent people that may be managing much bigger things than I manage, but I'm just telling you historically, that doesn't work. So, and while I'm at it, did I make the motion to give the longevity bonuses to the elected officials, or?
No, you did not.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion that we allow longevity pay to elected officials as per the last 10 years worth of my recollections. And we can discuss in 26 if we want to eliminate that, but it was eliminated retroactively this year, and I don't believe in retroactive.
I'll second for discussion. So what you're saying is you want to give it to them this year,
Right,
just like they have been getting.
right.
Precedent has been set.
Whatever.
But in 2026, you want to take a look at it and see where we go
If we're
moving
gonna make the
forward.
decision not to do it,
Mhm.
then let's do it the way we should do it, which is have a meeting, talk about it, decide, let's say not to do it, take a vote, and then everybody knows what happened.
Would we have had that discussion this year had not what happened happened? And I think the answer is no.
No, because the topic didn't come up.
Correct. So what's to say that we would have even revisited it this year or for next year?
Well, I just think that the
No,
way
no,
that,
we're-
I think that the way that it went down this year would have brought up the conversation. It didn't, but it should have.
Correct.
Yeah, a lot of
Right.
what it didn't do is, I mean, your idea that, or Jackie's idea that it was not about the money, it's that, it's just one more thing, and we don't need one more thing this year.
No, I mean, we're talking a few $100s.
Yeah,
And it's about principle, and they've received, our elected officials have received these longevity bonuses, pay, whatever you want to call it, for years, and then this year they didn't.
right.
It was not brought up to us to decide, it should have been, and then we should have had that
And-
discussion.
And that's the point I really want to make, is it's our decision, it's not somebody else's decision,
Right.
so.
However, we should look at it and see if it's the right decision moving forward. This decision we're making tonight is based on precedent.
Correct.
And who made the decision?
Okay.
Yeah. that's-
All right. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Back to the transfer station and disposal. You said that there are two companies. One of our members of the budget committee, Guy Pike,
Mhm.
talked to the people up at, in Conway, North Country Disposal, I believe is the name. It's probably not the name, but it's close. It'll get you there. And they said that, yes, they could they could do our trash for $70 ton. I don't know what the number was, but it was significantly less than we're paying.
Yeah, but
Waste
it's not,
management
that's
now.
not the whole question, Bob.
No, I know.
Are they-
I want to, I just want to make this clear, that's all.
Are they gonna supply the?
I'm not arguing.
Are they gonna supply the containers? Are they gonna do Island Day for free?
So, are we comparing apples to apples?
Right.
And that's the
That's
discussion,
essentially what
that's the discussion that needs to be
what I'm
had.
trying to say without being able to get it out, yes.
And one of the other parts of that contract that did get negotiated, because I remember negotiating it,
Mhm.
is that there was a fuel surcharge in their
Right.
proposal.
In today's market, there shouldn't be a fuel surcharge.
Well, the only way this fuel surcharge was accepted by us at that time was fine. If it goes up, and I'd have to get the contract, but it's more than $1.50 a gallon, sure, we got a fuel surcharge. It goes down, we get a credit.
Right.
So it's gotta go both ways, and that's
Right.
like a negotiated and stuff.
This is probably as good a time as any to ask the question. Do you too believe that we should form a transfer station committee of sorts to study how the transfer station is operating, if it's operating the most efficiently, in the best interests of the town of Tuftonboro going forward, or if we should change things, change the way it's operated, change our contracts? Do you think we should have an independent ad hoc committee take a look at it?
Let's talk about this at town elections, because we're not gonna do
I,
this. when
I,
we
I
got
would,
enough.
I agree with Chip, let's take it to.
Well, food for thought, because
Yeah.
it's a question that's on the table,
And-
and the question's not gonna go away.
Yep, and I don't have a problem with that, but I agree with Chip on that, let's,
Okay.
let's hold off until, and, because I'd like to mull over on my, just in my.
Because, yeah. I guess the feeling I got, and I'll let this be the last bit I talk about the budget committee meeting the other night, is this mistrust. And unless that goes away, they need to do something else, because not having the trust to say, I mean, I look at the tax rate, I look at the budgets, I look at the expenses every week. And to not trust that we're doing what we're supposed to do, to the extent of saying the contract with Waste Management is null and void or unenforceable or needs to be reversed or whatever. No, that's a decision we looked at, we made. Move on. There either has to be trust in this operation, or it's not gonna get any better.
At the last budget committee meeting, the three of us took a lot of heat, took it on the chin for renewing an existing contract, not putting it out to bid. It's a large contract, yes, but we had our reasons. Was it justified? The beatdown that we got, was it justified?
No.
So we need to defend it.
Yeah, and I'm not sure, well, we'll see what the reaction is. But, I mean, they haven't done a lot of their jobs, so now they gotta meet the whole month of January to get it done. But we don't need to get into the same sort of bickering, lack of information on their side, rejection of our actions when we get to the warrant. Because the warrant's not gonna look like the CIP report. It's gonna look a lot like it, just like last year's, or this year's, looked a lot like last year's CIP report. But we can't do $2.7 million, it just isn't gonna happen, in my mind. And I don't think, nobody else takes the heat for the tax rate except for us.
No, I was answering emails today about the tax rate.
I think the tax rate worked out great.
Well, yeah,
They just don't like their assessment.
that's what it comes down to. It's the
Okay, then
assessment.
net worth just went up 33%. I'm sorry, but your taxes don't reflect that? You know, just because we say your house is worth more money. Find us a sale that went for less than the assessed value.
My little podunk mobile home that I own went up 30%, 32%. I did the math, went up 32%.
Yeah. But look at the Somali mobile home down in North Country Village that sold for $150,000. Hello?
Yep.
You know, everything's gone up in value because everybody wants to live in the country, I guess, I don't know.
But valuations went up, tax rate went down. In the end of the day, it cost all of us money, but Not to some of the towns that are around us. Some of the towns that are around us took huge hits.
It didn't cost anybody money. Who did it cost money?
I think Wolfboro took a big
No,
hit
no,
this
no,
year.
in Tuftonboro.
What do you mean? Cost money?
Oh, you said it cost us all money.
Yeah, in higher tax bills.
In Tuftonboro?
Yeah.
Actual dollars paid out.
Actual dollars.
Oh,
Yes.
per thousand rate stayed the same.
Yes.
Dollars is a little different.
Well, no, my valuation went up 30%. The tax rate dollar-wise went down, but it,
In the end, when
Still
you
not.
look at your tax bill,
I'm paying-
most people, many people at least, paid more in dollars this year than they did last year. And that's what people,
Oh, that's what they're.
even the people that can do the math of understanding one goes up, one goes down, know that more money came out of their pocket than it did last year.
and that's all it comes.
And
down
that's
to.
all. it
But
comes
we
down
didn't do it, we had no ability to help that out.
No, that's what I explained in my correspondence today, was that it's based on the tax, what's the word?
to tax pressure for what,
Yeah,
I forget what the term is.
and the valuation. Those two combined, you sent to the DRA. The DRA comes up with our tax rate. We don't set the tax rate.
The only
We
thing that,
do though. But we didn't have that opportunity this year.
We don't set the tax rate. We have the ability to modify it.
We set the tax rate. We either accept what DRA gives us or we change it, but we set.
That's kind of what I
the tax-
just said.
We set the
Yes.
tax rate. So we had no ability or no
But
stomach.
We had no ability to modify the tax rate.
Right.
correct,
And that
it's
comes from,
That comes from a tight budget.
yeah,
correct.
Right.
can't have both ways.
Right. So, for the people that are watching, everybody's sharpening their pencils, but sharpening our pencils comes at a price.
Yeah,
Pay me now, pay me later.
more prices than,
Yep. Anything else we need to talk about tonight?
A motion to adjourn?
A second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.